So I keep alluding to this white stuff that I put in my garden, and today I'm going to show you what I do. Right now the plants are at the stage where they can be mulched. Today a storm came through, and you can see how, you know, the dirt gets splashed up on everything. And I have berries growing here. There's going to be lots of strawberries here. And you know, when they get heavy, they lay in the dirt and they can be open to disease and pests. You know, I love the look of the dirt, and the green, the dark brown or black and the green, and it's so organic and it's so beautiful, and I love it. But it is hard on the produce that comes out to have all the dirt splashing up. Now you look at what the heavy rains and the storm did to the tomatoes. See, it splashes up. Even though this is already 8 or 10 inches higher, it's still splashed up so much dirt on the leaves. And what happens is that if there's any type of disease in the dirt, or fungus or bacteria or anything that's not healthy for the plant, it splashes up on there and then can affect your plants. There's some other plants here, my borage. I mean, they just got beaten down. When the bean plants grow up and get high enough, I will mulch around those too, because I have found, and I've already done it for 3 years, this is my 4th year of doing this type of mulch. I found that the beans, when they're all on the stalk, and even just watering them, but especially some rain, the beans come out filthy, and it takes a long time to clean them, get all that dirt off of them. They're more open to pests and all that kind of stuff. So my thing, and I might get some controversy with this, but this is what I do. Over the year, I save all of my junk mail and office paper and everything, and I shred it. And the shredded paper is my mulch. Now, I've done a lot of research with this. The majority of the inks are all soy-based inks, so there's nothing that's like petroleum-based in there. You know, if we're worried about chemicals and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that I have found with this, and from experience and research, is that when things are done growing, I just mix it in with the dirt, and this, it takes longer to break down, but it does eventually. But what it does is it helps to not only provide some bulk within the soil, but it also ends up holding moisture into the soil so much better. We have such sandy soil here. To the black sand. Now, as you know, this year I've added a lot of compost, so I've got a lot more organic matter in here, which is fantastic. It needed it. But I have noticed that this too helps to retain a lot of moisture. Now, through my research and experience and everything, the one thing I have discovered is that when I incorporate a lot of this into the soil, the paper, the one thing that I have discovered, and I noticed from experience and doing a lot of research, is that using the shredded paper, now this is just copy paper, it's not newspaper, because my shredder can't take newspaper. There's no glossy paper at all, because glossy paper ends up having the petroleum products, so you don't want to use any glossy paper. And you don't want to use like envelopes with the plastic windows. So nothing that has gummy stuff in it, nothing that has plastic, it's just straight copy paper and things that are printed on there. Used from home, and then whatever. So I do sort like through all my mail and stuff, and I use that. So it's a good way to grind up your bills after you've paid them. So anyway, I just put a layer of about 2 or 3 inches of paper on there, and I tell you what, it keeps my soil moister, it keeps the weeds down, it keeps my plants cleaner, healthier, keeps the food healthier and cleaner, and it has been such a great benefit all the way around. The only one thing that I have noticed that through my research and through my own experience is that it does deplete the nitrogen in your soil, and so that's why it's important to work other things into that, especially in the fall and the spring, in the way of compost and leaves and different things like that in there, to replenish that nitrogen in the soil. It's just the nature of the paper, because it's even though it comes from trees and everything, it is a man-made product. essentially, I guess. And so it does deplete that, but the benefits for me far outweigh that part. Like I said, there's some controversy about all of it, and there are going to be some real organic purists that'll say, you can't do that. But you know what? I have not found any issue with it, and it's what I do, and it works for me. With my limited time and resources, and the effort that I put into this for growing my food, for preserving everything, that I need to do that. You know, it's really no different than growing your food in plastic pots or in a, you know, galvanized metal bin or something like that, where there's still chemicals from those kind of things that can get into your soil. So, but this is very, very minimal. Even though I put 2 or 3 inches on there, when it gets wet, it will mat down. And it can be kind of a harder crust, but the soil underneath stays really, really, I don't want to say loose, but it doesn't compact the soil. It compacts the paper in there, but the soil stays really, really good, and the worms love it. You want to leave a little bit of space around the roots of the plant so that it has a chance to grow. There, the strawberries are all done. I know it looks like snow in there, as if I don't get enough through the year, but this really, really does help a lot. And it keeps the weeds down, keeps my weeding time down. It's just been such a benefit in here. We'll see how things grow from this point on. The strawberries are looking so healthy. Time to do my bed of tomato plants. Now I've got a bunch in pots too. They're gonna go around the outside of the fence. I probably don't have enough shredded paper to do all the pots too, so you know, those will be easier to weed than trying to weed the whole bed here. My shredder is a crosscut shredder, so you end up getting these little confetti pieces rather than the long strings of things. It really works better for bedding, and it works better for incorporating it back into the soil. Okay, even though it looks like I'm putting it up there, I'm going back around and kind of pulling it away from the plants a little bit, so the stems don't feel like they're being crowded in. Just on the tomatoes, because the tomatoes are very finicky. You know, mixing the modern with the old time stuff, it's a hard decision to make, it really is. But I do know that shredded paper has long been a great source for your compost pile. Throw that in there along with leaves and the different things to help bulk it up. So really I'm just doing like some live compost in here. But I mean, this is my cilantro, and you can tell how the storm, it just beat it up. Of course we had hail too, but the rain was so strong, and look how dirty it is. And these are the things I'm going to be eating, the leaves, and I don't want, first of all, disease to get onto them, but I also don't want to spend hours trying to clean these, getting all this stuff off. So putting down a little bit of paper helps to keep that backsplash from happening, and then also keeps the weeds down, keeps it moister. I just find so many benefits with this. You know, like most of you, I've started all of these from seed months ago, and you know, taken such intense care of them and trying to grow them and water them and get them the right light and enough light, and to have all this happen, you know, and to get them going like that, and then to get them out here and just get them planted and have a storm come through and try to wipe everything out. It's you know, it's one of those things that can happen. It is a challenge. Now I'm sure you see some little colored bits in here too, worried about colored paper. I did not see anything in my research about any dangers of colored paper. Again, you really have to go back to the source of the paper and the company that made that to see what kind of ink or dyes or whatever that they used in that, and if it's something that will leach into your plants. Like I said, this is the 4th year that I've been doing it now, and first of all, I've not found any issues with taste or anything like that. Nothing that comes through with a metallic taste or a chemical type of taste on anything. At this point, I'm just going to leave the marigolds alone because those are going to get nice and big and will help shade, and they're such a hardy plant. I'm not going to worry about them. These guys are just so delicate and tender, and they're just getting massacred out here. I also see another big cloud coming, so I have to get these things finished. Yes, they look like snow-capped beds, and I guess you got to be a real good northerner, Minnesotan, to be able to appreciate it and to be okay with that. I'll show you the ferns and the lilies of the valley that are growing up. This is on the north side of my house. Lilies of the valley are actually a toxic plant. I don't know if it's the flowers or the leaves or the root, but they are the source of Digitalis, a heart medicine. So you want to be very careful. They're pretty, and you can look at them, enjoy them that way. So even though the rain is coming again, the mulch is really going to pretty much stay in place, but I'm going to give it a light watering just to get it wet so it stays in place in case the wind really kicks up. Otherwise, after this first watering, it's going to stay in place the rest of the summer, unless I disturb it for some reason. If I want to pull something and replant something, or even if a weed manages to get through there, you know, it'll disturb it a little bit, and I can always just shred some more paper and put it out there. As far as any paper bits that fall on the leaves and get stuck there, it's just really because all the plants are wet right now because it just stormed. So I'll just give a quick little rinse on everything, and that'll help get them off so that they don't stick to the leaves themselves. So anyway, you guys, take care. God bless. Always have hope. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.